Okay, so I was thinking with everything that's happening, it's a little bit low. We can't really celebrate fireworks night. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring fireworks night to us, food-wise. Hooray! Okay, so what we're going to make is like a toffee apple burger. Stick with me, it will work. Gary's absolutely petrified. Okay, so what you're going to need is 1 apple. Now I've used the Carnation's caramel, so get that. So that was about a tablespoon. You'll need some balsamic vinegar in like liquid form and some balsamic glaze. There we go, that as well, balsamic glaze. 250 grams of pork mince. You'll need some red onions, 2 red onions, 1 rainbow, 1 diced. Some thyme, about 5 grams. About 5 grams of parsley and 5 grams of basil. Okay, 2 garlic cloves, about 30 grams of panko crumbs, and you need your olive oil and your staples really. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly drain these apples off. So pop them in there. So we don't want to use too much, obviously, of caramel. So we're just going to use a little bit and just caramelise, because we don't want our whole burger to be full of caramelised. Okay, so make sure you've drained all your apple off and pop it in. Okay, so we're going to get our caramel and we're going to get our balsamic vinegar. Now, the reason why this is going to just take the edge off the sweetness of what we've got here. So don't worry if this all doesn't go in, but I think I'm going to get a spoon anyway, just to help us along. Okay, there we go. And then whack that in as well. Okay, and the thing with balsamic glaze is balsamic glaze or vinegar, it will really caramelise, so you'll get a lovely like flavour to your apples and everything. Because after all, we must remember the 5th of November. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this all cook off, and then we'll come back in a bit. Alright, see you in a bit. Okay, so I forgot to say we've got some ciabatta rolls and we've got the onion marmalade. Now, I've just taken this off the heat just for a little bit. So pop your onion marmalade in. Just give it a bit of a mix in. I must admit, I've just tasted this and it tastes absolutely amazing. Okay, so that, I think, is done. So I take this off the heat, because we don't want it to burn, we just literally want it to be caramelised. I mean, if you wanted to as well, you could get a salted caramel. You can buy that in the supermarkets now as well. You could use a bit of that. It's got a bit of the salt in it, so you wouldn't have to put so much salt in. So that's done it. So what I'm going to do with mine is I'm just going to put just a tiny bit of salt on, because I haven't put any salt in mine. So that's that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start making our burger. So we want the chopped onions in, not the rainbow ones. Okay, so that's that. You want your garlic. herbs. Okay, now I like to add my salt to this bit, only because I find that once you put the meat in, it kind of gets a bit lost. So I put my salt in now. You can always add salt later if you want as well. Okay, pepper. And your breadcrumbs. Okay, so we're going to whiz this lot first because my apples are still a bit hot. Bring it all together. I'll fill my apples. They are a little bit hot, but I think once we start whizzing them, they'll be alright. So put them in. Okay, so we're going to put that in here. It's just gone everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to feel how hot it is. It's not too bad actually, but I'll just wash my finger. But what I will do is I will whiz it just a tiny bit more because there is still big chunks of now I don't know if it'll work, but you could put corn mince in it. That might help as well if you want to make your own veggie burger. But like I said, I'm not 100% whether it will work or not. But at least it gives you an option. Or I think you can get like corn sausage meat now as well. Probably that would work as well if you took them out and used that. Okay, so I'm going to put in our mince. Well, I know it's going in the blender, but I always like to just pick it apart a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to literally wash my hands. You can never find anything when you need it. Okay, so going to let me do it. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so mine went a little bit, it did go a little bit loose because of all the nice juices we put in. So I put another 3 slices of bread in to help it whiz up a little bit. Okay, so what you want to do is, Gary's laughing at me because he's finding it quite hilarious that this actually happened. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to put it into rounds. Now what I am going to do, I think, is I might just pause the video a second and put a little bit of flour on the top of them just to help them a little bit. Okay, see you in a sec. Okay, these are whopper of burgers, but there we go. Wouldn't be cooking biryani, would it, if we didn't have a big burger? Heaven forbid. Okay, so I'm just rolling it a little bit in flour. Now I've got 00 flour, but I know we're kind of winging this as we go along, but this is the first time I've ever made this sort of thing, so it's coming out alright. It's coming out better than what I thought it was going to come out as. Okay, so that's that one. And I think we've got enough for one more big bad boy. Right, okay. Oh my god, it's massive. It's massive. Maybe we'll take a bit away. Now I'm thinking it's a bit diddier than its brothers, but okay. Flour. Obviously, if you're gluten free, don't use this flour. Use gluten flour. Okay, so I'm gonna fatten them a little bit so they look like burgers. Okay, and then these go in the fridge for around 20 minutes. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, we're back. Right, I'm doing chips, so you can do whatever you like with them, but my chips are having a bit, they're not quite doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to start doing our onions, and we're going to start doing our things as well. Depends how good your grill is, because my grill can go from doing nothing to basically burning everything, so we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to pop them in there and we'll get them going. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to brush these with a little bit of olive oil. It will make your bread really nice. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll do one side first, and then I'll do the other side once the other side's a bit crispy. Okay, so brushy brush. Okay, so we'll get that open. It should have been on, but it isn't on, so what I'll do is I'll just put it underneath. This video today, honestly, I think it's one of them crazy days I'm just having. Just like anything and anything just doesn't want to do what I want it to do. Okay, so put that over there. And we're going to put a little bit of our glaze, squidge it over the top. Okay, so we're just going to fry this off. So I'm going to come back in just a couple of seconds. There's a little bit more done. Alright, see you in a sec. Okay, so I'm putting a bit of olive oil in here. Now, like I said, mine takes absolutely ages to do, so it's nowhere near that. My onions are done. So what I've done is I've put them in here. I'm going to wrap them up and pop them there. Okay, so we're going to put our burgers in. Okay, so you want this really, really hot. So I'm just going to pop this over here. And I might just open the door just a tiny bit because we've got so much smoke in here. Okay, so what you want these to do is you want these to cook. You want these to cook. Really nicely and evenly. Okay, so leave them there. And have a look at our bread again. Okay, and my chips are doing nicely, so that's good. Gary did have a really good idea though. Instead of whizzing them up, inside of the mince, you could just leave them on the sides and then put them on the top of your burger. So that was a very good idea, cameraman Gary. Yay! So if you do it that way, you won't need the free breads, the free extra breads, but whatever way you did. Okay, so we just want them to get a tiny bit of colour on them. So I'm just going to have a look, see how they're getting on. Okay, we need to leave them just a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fry these off, I'm going to shove them in the oven, and then we'll come back when they're ready. Alright? Okay, so I've given my little sprinkle of salt on mine. I would say do flour them, because I think they've come out a lot better with the flour. So, but they are looking very tasty. I've literally just tried a tiny little bit that came off on here. And you could really taste the apple on the caramelised. Oh, it was so good. So, that's it up it. But there you go. Okay, so you want to have the little bit of colour on them. And you want to get the flour off as well. So, okay, so what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and get the next bit of the ciabatta done as well. So, like with the other side, just gently rub it. Now my grill's got very hot now, so I've really got to keep an eye on it. I just hate when you get like a burger and they give you like a really soggy bun as well. It's just like, oh no thank you. Right, okay, these are lovely. I'm going to make sure that these two need to be done a little bit more. So what I'll do is I'm going to put these in the oven for around 10 minutes because they've already been part cooked, and then we're going to have our burgers. Alright, see you in a bit. Okay, so I've left mine out a little bit because just to keep warm because they are done. But, oh yes, they are very hot. I've normally got really asbestos fingers, but that is quite hot. Okay, so I'll put them there for the moment. Close that up. Oh, ta-da! Okay, so get your burgers and put them on. Okay, now I'm not a caramelisey person, but Gary likes them, so put that on his one. Okay, so that's them done. Put them on the top, and then I'm going to get my little chippies out. So these are the chips I've done. They're homemade, but you can use whatever chips you like. If you want to use frozen chips, fresh chips, it's up to you. But anyway, there are your toffee apple burgers. Well, thank you very much for watching my cookettes. We really do appreciate it. So please like, please share, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.